Hey folks, welcome to Build Fly Go. So we haven't done an update in a couple of weeks, so I thought I would do a 360 video and see how that works out. Here we are in the workshop. My usual garage door. And here is the airplane. We are in a pretty good spot. Let me turn some lights on. Pretty good spot with the canopy at this point. The doors are basically done. They fit pretty nice. There's still some work to do here, but I'm going to call it 90+%. We've been talking to Jonathan at Evoke to sort out how tight the gaps need to be and things like that. And the great feedback we've gotten from him is he would rather it be really tight so that he can trim it down and make it look perfect than for me to take off too much. And that's great because that, for us builders, that means less fiberglass work for us, and let the painter and the paint shop do the sort of the finish, right? So that they don't have a ton of extra work having to add material that you took off too much. So take a peek. The fit is pretty good. We're pretty happy. It's just not perfectly even all the way around. We do have to work on these, the gaps as they meet. You can see it's a little high here versus here, and here it's the opposite, right? And this is fairly common door work that you have to do on the RV-10, right? As you smooth out the sort of intersections where things meet. You'll notice that we haven't done any of the plexi yet. That has arrived. It's at the house. And we've decided to go with the C. Bailey windows. They're a little bit more expensive, not a ton more expensive, but my understanding is that they are almost perfectly cut and fit to the cutouts, especially the windshield. This is really important because this takes actually a lot of time. The windshield on our 9 took forever to cut and fit. So paying a few bucks to have that already mostly done is really nice. I haven't seen stock RV-10 transparencies yet to compare, but I know Rick in town has an RV-10 and his transparencies are currently not installed on his airplane. So I'm actually tempted to grab my C. Bailey ones and drive over to his house and do a quick comparison just so we can see if it's really worth the extra bucks. I think it probably is. You'll notice that the door locks are in place, the latches are in place. The outside latches over here are not in place yet, but the inside is done. It's just a really small process right there. The struts are done in here. These are the Bonsbach, I don't know how to say that. It's an American company with a German sounding name. These are the 600 Newton struts, which are equivalent to the van's heavy duty struts. And you can tell they're really heavy duty. Right now the doors, I'm not going to say, I wouldn't describe it as they slam open, but they do open with a lot of force. This is fine for right now. My understanding, what I keep hearing from everybody, is once we put the glass in place and everything is done, this will be a much less sort of abrupt opening, right? It really opens because it'll be heavier and things like that. One of the nice things about these struts, I don't know if the stock struts have this as well, but there's a damper setup, so it actually slows down as it reaches the top. Right now you can't feel it quite so much because it's opening so fast. There we go. You can sort of see that. But once the door is heavier, you'll really see it do it properly. One thing that we're doing different, I think there's one other RV that has lighting, not like ours, but just individual lights. So our lighting is installed and ready to go. I think we're going to change how we're doing some of the wiring. I have the wiring coming out here, and I just don't like how it's working. So we're going to come through the bottom now and into the canopy and out here. So let's see if we can see if this works, and have a connector here that's going to be under the headliner and all that kind of stuff. Do remember this is a 360 video, so you can move the view around. So because I'm moving the camera, the view is not sort of following me. So do move it around so that you can see what I'm looking at and what I'm pointing at. So it'll come out here, there'll be a connector here. This is going to be all hidden under a headliner, which we haven't sorted out yet. Interior is all sort of up in the air at this point. But one thing that we have decided is the interior color, if you will, is going to be Zolatone. It's a dark Zolatone color, darker gray, if you will. And Zolatone is a speckled paint, if you will. It's got speckled and a bit of a texture to it, and it's used a lot on, interesting, the local paint shop that I use here, they said that they see it in ambulances a lot. It's a really tough finish, but it looks really nice. So I'm really happy with that. And I have seen a couple of other airplanes that use this to sort of paint the exposed fiberglass. Looks nice, so that's what we're going with. We haven't decided yet if we're going to paint the doors in the same color. I think we might, just so that there's not too many different colors going on here, right? Like you don't want it to be a circus act of different colors and different grays and whatnots. We do have to smooth some of this out still. But not too much. One of the benefits of doing a color with texture is that it hides a lot of imperfections. So you can see the it's from the layup, right, of the fiberglass where there's overlap. It leaves these little bumps and lines and whatever. I'm just going to sand that lightly just to get some of that out, and then it'll disappear under the Zolatone paint. Other than that, other than dirty, we're getting in a really good spot. So the canopy is going to come off pretty soon after the holidays. Thanksgiving holidays are this coming week. After the holidays, the canopy is going to come off. We're going to sand her all down and spray her. And then she's going to come on for good. And we're actually going to do flocks and epoxy her into place and finish the mounts and screw her into place to be done, right? Like there's really no benefit at this point in having this canopy loose. So I want her done, and I want her out of the way. But other than that, this is really it. We're in a really good spot for the canopy. We're in a really good spot for the airplane. This part is taking a little longer than expected. We have some equipment coming in soon that you guys are going to see. I've got a box opening coming up for the oxygen system. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're coming along. Thank you so much for watching. We, as usual, appreciate your feedback and your support. If you really, really love our videos and want to help out, do take a look at the offerings we have for sponsors for you to throw a buck or two at us once a month. It helps us buy equipment more than anything. 360 camera. So thank you for you guys that have helped. But as usual, we just really like hearing from you. So do comment, ask us questions, tell us what you want to see. Enjoy. You guys have a great holiday. Have a great week.